What's up everybody, welcome back to the Good View Woodworks channel. My name is Nathan, and in this video, it's gonna be the part one of a series that we're doing. If you guys remember, you guys asked for it too. We're gonna show you a bunch of different finishing options for epoxy, and this is part one, or series one, or episode one, whatever you wanna call it. We're actually gonna do Rubio Monocoat. I'll show you. So, we have some Rubio Monocoat products right here, and I'm also rocking the Rubio Monocoat shirt, as you can see.
You want to give them a spin?
Not sponsored, you know, just enjoy their product. Okay, so if you guys can see the table here, what I need to do before we start adding the finish is I gotta prep the top. So we're gonna be sanding up to 180 grit. Okay, so good thing about Rubio Monocoat is you only need to go up to 180, which for most woodworkers sounds kind of rough. I choose to do 220 sometimes, and it comes out just fine. So, but they recommend 180, so that's what we're gonna go with. Before we get to that though, I need to prep the slab. So we're gonna sand it through the grits from 80 to 100, 120 to 180. I've already done all that, and sanding is really boring, so I won't bore you with that. But we're gonna finish sand because Rubio also calls to water pop the surface. I don't like saying that either. I think it sounds really silly to say water pop. It's what we do is we spray water all over the surface to raise the grain. You'll see that in a minute. But right now, we need to trim the epoxy off the edges of the slab. And so we have our straight edge here and our circular saw. And we'll go ahead and make these edges straight, get them sanded, and I'll see you right after we finish.
Your elbow's blocking me.
I'm right-handed. That sucks. All right guys, so we have our piece cut to shape, and so we're gonna start sanding. Remember, we're gonna start to prep our slab. We're gonna need to sand starting with 80 grit, then 100, then 120. Then you can jump from 120 to 180. If you want to do 150 before that, you can. 180 is fine. 121. So we'll go ahead and start doing that. Okay guys, fun tip. I'm gonna show you something here. Zoom in right here. Can you see the lines that are still going this direction in the epoxy? Those are sanding marks from the belt sander. Even though it feels smooth and you can't see it from time to time, we want to get all these straight lines out because you'll see them when we put finish on them. So, quick tip, make sure that you get all the fine scratches out because they will show up in the finish. All right guys, so Rubio actually has their own cleaner. So after you're done sanding, you're supposed to clean it and prep it for the oil for the finish. But this is not it. Obviously, it doesn't say Rubio Monocoat on it. But from what I gathered, it's pretty much the same as mineral spirits. They didn't say that. That's just kind of a thing I put together. So they recommend you use theirs. So I'm going to recommend you use theirs, but I'm going to use mineral spirits. It's virtually the same. Works really well. I've used it before. So that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna be liberal with it. And we're just gonna wipe it on. Thank you. Thanks for saving me.
Absolutely. Anytime.
So use this to get all the dust off. And you can kind of get an idea what the finish is going to look like once you wipe the dust off. You see it's kind of look like that. So we're going to let this dry. And then after you get the dust cleaned up, now Rubio also recommends using a vacuum to vacuum up all the dust, because the oil, it only bonds with wood fibers. If you have dust in those wood fibers, the oil is going to want to bond with that dust. So we want to get all that dust out. So we'll take a vacuum and clean the top. Obviously this is the bottom, and we're going to prep it the same way we're going to prep the top. I've already prepped the top, so I wanted to show you what we do. So once it's dry, pretty much there, you can tell when it starts to get lighter in color. Like this area right here is dry. We're gonna take a water bottle and we're gonna fully saturate the surface, okay? So here, I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so obviously the epoxy doesn't really matter. It's not going to absorb any water, but we really want to saturate the surface of the water. And the reason why we want to do that is that it's called that water pop, right? It's going to dry and it's going to raise the grain of the wood, okay? So what that means is the fibers are going to swell, it's going to dry, and they're going to stay like that. Because if we were to not do this and put the oil on, the oil is going to make the fibers do that, and you'll have a rough surface when you finish. Definitely don't want to do that. So we're going to let this side set up and dry, and I'll flip it over and we'll start actually putting the oil on. What you guys been looking for, that's what we're going to do on the top here in just a second. Once again, we're going to clean the surface, prep it for the oil. I always like to do the epoxy first, see what it looks like, because it kind of gives you an idea what it's going to look like with the oil. It's pretty cool how orange and red cherry is, right? Check this out right here. Got a little bit of spalting right here. Leave a comment down in the comment section if you guys know what spalting is. Get all this dust off. All right, you guys see, so you can see where it's dry and where we still have the cleaner. We're gonna wait until that's fully dry and then we'll put the oil on it. Okay. Guys, I took this off, but if you guys see, when you saw it in the first shot, it comes together like this. And all it is you have the oil here and the activator or accelerator in here. It's actually accelerator, not activator. The reason why is it will cure with just the oil itself, but it takes about 3 weeks. With the accelerator in it, it speeds it up to 1 week. And so it's a 3-to-1. If you notice, this is a third the size of this can. We use 3 parts oil and 1 part accelerator. Now, you guys are probably gonna hurt me for this, but you should be taking a syringe and actually measuring the millimeters. I don't have one, and I still wanna get this done. And so I'm gonna use a spoon, and I'm gonna do a 3-to-1 mixture with the spoon. So guys, don't worry about what I'm doing with the spoon. You need a syringe, but I'm gonna go for it with the spoon, okay? This stuff is really cool though. It has a really strange, but kind of a good smell. I like the way it smells. It's weird, it's yellow. smell it. Tell me what you think. It's weird, right?
Yeah.
But it's not. It doesn't smell chemically like chemicals or anything like that. It smells kind of good. It's weird.
Like a candle almost.
But yeah. You know what? So I'm gonna do one. You really don't need a lot of this stuff. If you guys look at the price, it looks expensive, but you really don't need a lot. 2. Do 3 teaspoons, and then we'll do 1 of the accelerator. You don't have to record this part.
Yeah, they need to get the bloopers. You say you're starting up a Patreon.
Oh, you probably should have opened them both at the same time, mate.
Yeah. All right, get my spoon cleaned off.
Did you already start the Patreon?
No, not yet. I'm slacking on that.
I mean, you just went on vacation.
Huh?
You just went on vacation.
What?
You went on vacation, then you came back to
I
go
know.
immediately to
that
work.
Sounds like such crap though. Oh, you went on vacation. You had time to do it.
Did I say it like that?
No,
I was just saying you just
People,
got.
no, people would say that.
Oh, okay. No, I'm just saying you just got off vacation. You went right back to work. So this is the first work weekend that you can
All
do.
right, now check that out. It looks like there's nothing in there, right? You're like, what? But there is. It's just clear liquid, much thicker than the oil. Okay. I have 1 spoon of the hardener. Now look, I mean, there's not much in there, you see? Very, very little. But this little bit will do the entire top and the sides and almost the bottom. I mean, it goes really far. So when you're spreading this stuff on, you can't, let's see, how do I put it? It's only gonna absorb as much as the open cells of the wood are gonna take. So you can't wipe enough off. Right, so it takes very, very little, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. So we'll go ahead and get this all stirred up.
And a question for the audience, since I don't know anything about this either. When they use the syringe, should they use 2 different syringes?
Yes, great question. Yep. So Corey just asked. So what's up, Corey? Give me. We're going to. He asked a good question though. If you were to use, you would need to use 2 different syringes, right? Because you would contaminate 1 syringe using the oil or the accelerator. So yes, 2 different syringes, and you can actually keep both of those. You never have to change them. You can always reuse them as long as the 2 parts are apart from each other. It'll be fine. Okay, so this is going to be the process. I'm going to pour out a little bit of oil, spread it out with my Bondo spreader, aka used McDonald's gift card. Come on, McDonald's, I needed a sponsor, right? Not sponsored by McDonald's, but be cool, right? So we'll lay this out, spread it with our card. Now, normally you want to only spread, like if you had a bigger table, you only want to spread enough that you can work in 10 minutes. Okay, but this is obviously much smaller. We can do a lot faster than that. So I'm going to spread the oil out, and then we're going to take our buffer with a non-abrasive Scotch-Brite pad. It's the white pad. And we'll go ahead and work it into the surface for a few minutes. After that, we'll switch it with a cloth pad, which I just had. I don't know where I put it. Oh, right here. And then we'll use a terry cloth pad on our buffer, and we'll buff it off with that. So we're gonna work it in for a few minutes with the buffer, and then wipe it back off with the buffer. Now they say to wipe it off, like really use your hands to wipe it off. We're gonna use that, see how that works. Okay, here we go. Now, we do this with our epoxy, but when you're spreading stuff around, a good thing to think of is mowing the lawn. Think about mowing the lawn. We're gonna put a slight taper towards the outside, so this is straight on. We're gonna turn it out to the outside, and when we drag it, it's gonna push the puddle towards the outside. That way when you come back around, do the same thing. It's gonna keep pushing it one direction. You can work all of your material to the outside. When you guys get the hang of it, it'll be a lot easier, believe me. Sometimes it can look kind of complicated, it's not. Now to do the edges, we're going to use just a rag, paper towel, and we'll just wipe it onto the edges. Look at that grain, man, isn't that pretty? Look at that.
I got caught looking at it because it is really pretty. I can see it while you sanded it down. For some reason I thought you were trying to get my attention, but you were just swinging around.
Waving you down with the red flag.
Yeah, I was like,
Trying to give it to Nate.
Thanks, man. This thing is cool though. It's got a digital display. I'll link it down in the description. So now, obviously, you see how we have it worked into the wood? Now it's time to buff it off. And so we're gonna let that sit for just a few minutes, and then I'll put the terry cloth pad on, and we're really gonna just buff this off of here. We're gonna really work the oil off of the surface. So it's a wipe on, wipe off, and you're gonna see it's gonna look patchy. If you look at it right now, like it looks really pretty, but kind of get a weird angle on the light, like kind of like get the reflection of the light. You'll see that it looks kind of patchy. That's because the oil, some oil is sitting on the surface, some is worked in, and this is gonna really even it out. And then after 24 hours overnight, we're gonna use our universal maintenance oil, and that's really going to make it shine, even it out, and make it look pretty. So this is a one-step process. You don't have to use the oil. I just like, it gives it a little bit more sheen. That's what I like. Go. So you'll notice here, we're really gonna start evening it out. You see how it took the unevenness out of it? Can you see it? Or no? In the light?
I can't see it, but I've been looking through the camera.
Oh, see, well, look, all right, look, we'll see the half that I've done. Here, let me see the camera. So if you guys can kind of tell, we have a solid sheen here. Go to the part I didn't wipe off, and it's kind of splotchy. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. Splotchy, even, splotchy, even, splotchy, even. Now when you guys are buffing this off, it's really gonna feel like it's sticky. That's what you want. And then when you finish wiping it down, do it again. So you can't buff off enough. We're gonna put them to the test. Gonna go till it doesn't feel sticky anymore. Yeah, that's better. Okay. There we go. What do you guys think? Now, you see how it's pretty satin? Like flat looking? That maintenance oil is gonna make it pop just a little bit, just to give it a little bit of sheen. All right, guys, we're gonna let this sit overnight and we're gonna put the maintenance oil on. You guys let me know what you think. What's up, everybody? Okay, so it's the next morning and this thing looks really nice. Check it out. Here's our table, looks really good. But if you notice that it is satin, and we're gonna get a little bit more sheen out of it by using the Rubio Monocoat maintenance oil, okay? Now the maintenance oil, you apply it the same exact way that we applied the Rubio Monocoat, okay? So we're gonna put it on, spread it out with our card, really buff it in, and then we'll buff it back off with a clean rag, okay? Here we go. So I'm just going to use a paper towel and just kind of buff it in a little bit, let it set for a few minutes, and then we will buff it off. Okay, see how I have it evenly spread across the surface? Evenly. Now I just did my best to buff it in. We're gonna let that set for a few minutes, and then we'll take our clean terry cloth pad and we'll buff it right back off. Okay, we're done buffing it in, and man, see, it just looks super professional. That's why I like this product. All right, it's one of my favorite ones right here, okay? Check this out. See how I gave it just a little bit more sheen? Looks really nice. All right, guys, that's it for this video. This was a step-by-step process on how to use a hard wax oil finish over epoxy or over a river table. And so I hope you guys liked it. I hope you learned a lot. I'm gonna link everything down in the description, and so that if you wanna buy these products, you can go get it as well. Guys, if you would, please give me a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And guys, I just wanna thank you for watching this video. Thank you for supporting this channel. And next week, hopefully, next week I'll have the 4th video of the huge 9-foot dining table with the blue epoxy. We'll have another video coming out for that. And so guys, I don't want you to miss that either. If you haven't seen that video, I'm gonna go ahead and link it at the end of this video. Also, if you haven't seen us building the black cherry river table, I'm gonna put it in a card up here so you guys can go watch that one. I always do my best to answer all the comments, so if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. But also, if I don't get to it, or you feel like you want more help in answering that question, we have the Goodview Woodworks community group on Facebook. You guys can go over there and become a member of that group, and you can post pictures of your own projects and also ask questions over there. Also, you can direct message me on Instagram at Goodview Woodworks. And last but not least, you can always go over to goodviewwoodworks.com, check out all of the recommended products there, and if you need to directly email me there, you can do that as well. Go out there and also check out our merch. We have a few things there for sale too. Guys, once again, as always, thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah, and it bees like that. Goodview Woodworks, getting custom with the craft. Got my angle switching dimensions, I'm different with the math. This that DIY flow, in case you need a helping hand.
So, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. It'll put it higher in the queue. And guys, as always, thanks for hanging out with us.